maybe some of you guys are trying to debate on either a Foxbody, an SN car, a New Edge car, a Terminator, whatever. Let's talk about the differences between the two, besides the obvious, and why I'm more comfortable in one car than the other. Most of you guys that have been watching the channel for a while already know which car that I'm more comfortable in, but let's talk about it a little more. Let's start off with the Foxbody. This platform lasted, well, to be completely honest, from 79 to 04. Now, a lot of guys will want to argue that, but if you do your research, you will understand what I'm saying. This is still a Fox platform. Most everything underneath this car will fit on this car. So what's the difference between this car and this car? If I'm saying that this is also a Fox platform, then what's the differences? Honestly, it's mainly just the bodywork and the interior, and I can prove it to you with just a few little things. So pay attention right here. See this notch right behind the strut tower? Look at that. Take note of that. And then there's a hole right here that's being plugged, right? Let's go straight over here. Strut tower, there's your notch, and there's a hole being covered. Pretty much all of this is the same. You know, they're not exactly the same, don't get me wrong. Here's another thing. Look right here. Look at the washer fluid. See the hole right there? Strut tower, everything for reference. Let's go right over here. And as you can see, same setup. Anyway, I know a lot of you guys already know this, but this is for the guys that really aren't sure, that don't understand that this is basically still a Fox platform. So what makes it so different? Well, honestly, the engine for one thing. There's not a lot of difference between these cars. Think about that, guys. From 79 to 04, there's just not a lot of difference. Obviously, stuff like headlights and front bumpers and such don't fit. Underneath these cars, you can take the rear end out of the Cobra and you can put it into the Foxbody, and vice versa. The only difference is the fender flares. So look at the sides of the car here, and you can see how the fender, how the wheel well bulges out. So it bulges out a lot more than over here. So that's just got a slight bulge in it. And the overall bodywork is a little wider on this car. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's like 3/4 of an inch, something like that difference. You guys can correct me down in the comment section, but it's somewhere around there, an inch, 3/4 of an inch, something like that. So pretty much all the components will fit. I'll tell you something else that blew my mind. I built a speaker box for the trunk of this car, as a lot of you know. It's a fiberglass speaker box that goes down into the spare tire wheel. I built that for this car and ended up just never really doing anything with it. So I took it out one day just to see how close it was to this car. Wow, it dropped right in, guys. No work whatsoever. The spare tire wheel is the exact same in this car as it is in that car. You can put the dash out of a New Edge car, SN95, the New Edge car, in one of these cars, but the shape of the windshield causes the dash to be a little different. But you can put them in, you just have to do a little bit of trimming. Now that's crazy. Think about that gap in time. Mustangs have been around for a long time, but the longest running platform is the Fox platform. You're not going to hear people call that a Fox platform car or a Fox body. You're just not, because essentially in 94 they became the SN95 cars in 94, and then when they went to this new revamped little harder edge design in 99, they started calling them New Edges. We went from an OBD1 to an OBD2 in these cars in 94. Basically, they can tell you what's wrong with them. That was always a problem with the Foxbody. The Foxbody can't tell you what's wrong with it. So it's kind of like an infant. You know, you have a child at home and the child's crying and you're like, what's wrong, what's wrong? But they can't tell you, right? Well, that's kind of like this. And then as they get a little older, you can ask what's wrong and they can tell you my stomach hurts, or it's my arm, or it's my whatever. See, with these things, for the most part, you've got to really just kind of poke and hope that you get this thing right. Now there are some things you can test, and the OBD1 will tell you a little bit, but not anywhere in comparison to the two. The biggest difference came in 96. So in 96 they put, obviously, as you guys know, they put the modular engines in these cars in 96. So we went to the 4.6. Man, you want to talk about some hate, guys? Ooh, There were some people not happy about that, and to this day I still am not a 4.6 fan. I'm not. Although that car makes an absurd amount of power in comparison to this car, I like my push rod stuff. And as you guys know, Ford has went to the new 7.3 Godzilla engine, which my buddy Foxcast Media has covered. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Now that's a beast. That's an animal. The modular engines are just so much bigger. I mean, they are huge. So let's look at the difference. Knowing that this is the exact same front end and firewall, look at the difference in this thing. Look how close it comes to the strut towers. Okay, now look at this. Look at that massive amount of gap from there to there. That's crazy, guys. Which one is best for you? To be completely honest with you, it's a toss-up for me. If you like the Foxbody styling, then by all means go for the Foxbody. You're probably going to have to do a little more wrench turning on the Foxbodies than you will on a lot of these newer cars. That kind of goes without saying, right? This is the thing that really matters to me. I've mentioned this before on the channel, and a lot of guys basically corrected me and said, no, that's not the case for me. But let's talk about something. With these cars, they're a lot more compact. So this is essentially like a cockpit in comparison. Everything kind of wraps around you. The dash is a little higher. The door seals just seem to be higher up, you know. Now I'm not a super tall guy by any means. I'm actually only 5'8", but if I put this camera right dead where my eyes are, like, this is what you see right here. Everything's just kind of right up in your face. They're comfortable cars, but you really feel like squished in with these. Now a lot of people like that feel. I, for one, do not really enjoy that as much. Believe it or not, I'm not the biggest fan of the Terminator seats with the extra bolstering. I don't really like that as much, just because I feel confined. But I've talked to a couple of my friends that are a good bit taller. They tend to like the Foxbody a little better. You can probably tell a difference in the way, like, just look at me in this car. Let's do that. So look at my head, you know, look at the way I sit, and everything is just a little more compact. Well, let's shoot over to the Foxbody and check it out. So we're in the Foxbody, and immediately I feel like I can breathe a little better. I feel like everything is more open. So here's a look from my viewpoint. So now I have the camera exactly at eye level, and you can see how everything just seems to be a little lower. For me, the Foxbody is the more comfortable platform. But if you're into that whole, you know, snug fit kind of cockpit style, the 94 through 04 cars are going to be probably a little better for you. So the Cobra seats obviously fit a little tighter, but I still somewhat feel that way in the GTs. But I will say this, to me, the GTs are more comfortable than the Cobra seats. Now, if you're out there on the track and you're racing and whatnot, obviously the bolstering will help you out a little bit more. But me personally, I'm not going to be on the track. And if I was on the track, I would just upgrade seats. Also in 94, we got an upgrade. We went from 4-lug cars to the 5-lug cars. I, for one, don't really give one rat's ass about 4-lug or 5-lug. I could care less. To me, you know, we did get bigger rotors in 94 versus the 93 Mustangs, so that is a big benefit. But as far as like 4-lug versus 5-lug, you guys, you can do your own research. There's guys out there making well over 1,000 horsepower on 4-lugs. Put you some good hardened studs in there and you'll be good to go. So the whole 4-lug 5-lug thing really doesn't bother me at all, except for wheel options. Now, wheel options absolutely are something to look at. If you're looking at one of these cars, anywhere from 94 to 04, you have almost any wheel you could imagine available to you. To where the 4-lug cars, yeah, you're pretty limited. They improved the convertible tops in 94 over the Foxbody convertible tops. The Foxbody tops never really kind of set flush. See how this meets up and sits really flush? The Foxbody tops never really set like that. I know a lot of you guys, we got convertibles out there and you probably love them. This is just my opinion. For me, there was a major upgrade on convertible tops whenever you go to 94. As far as functionality goes on the interior, really nothing changed. Guys, in 94 to 04, there were no options available for these cars. There was no GPS, there was no Bluetooth, there was none of that. No heated seats. I mean, they offer really no more amenities other than airbags. But with that being said, in 1990, they went to airbags in the Foxbody. Now over here you have dual airbags. You have driver and passenger side airbags in these cars, so they are a little safer. As far as ride quality goes on these cars, I would probably have to give that to the 94 and up cars. So 94 to 04 cars do tend to ride a little better than the Foxbodys. And I know that that might not make any sense because I just said that they're the same platform car, but they just do. For me anyway. Just to conclude, you know, as far as like power options go, you know, if you were going to buy one car over the other, and let's say you wanted to make a race car out of it, if you were into that, let's say either a drag car or a roll race car, whatever the case may be. Drag race car, I would probably go for the Foxbody, simply because there's so many people out there that use them. Their techniques, their tips and techniques out there that you can get information from to use on your car. There's so many people out there that have these. Like I said, you can find somebody and mimic theirs if you want to. There's not a lot of SN cars, really. A lot of new edge cars out there are being drag raced, but not as much as the Foxbodys. Let's just be honest, the brakes on the Foxbodys, they're sketchy at best. They're not that good. Now you can upgrade the pads and stuff, but those brake boosters are bad about going out and stuff like that. I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys, show you some of the differences, and let you guys know my thoughts on the two cars, what I like and what I dislike, the pros and the cons, if you will. All right guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up, and as always, thanks for watching.